Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is happy fucking Valentine's Day. It is February 14th, Wednesday. Figured I'd finally get off my lazy ass and do a video for you. So, um, don't mind the mess behind me yet. I'm still working on this room. I don't have any of my other equipment up yet. So it's just me, you, and this computer. Hopefully, the last one didn't come out that bad. So, anyway, just a couple of quick tidbits, man. I'm down 39 pounds from a couple of days before Thanksgiving. Been mainly, man, cut fucking sugar out. You know, just no more processed sugar and no fruit, no nothing for the first month. I did keto, hard keto for the first month, and just got my ass back in the gym. Changed my whole regime around. No more lifting heavy. I'm shrinking in size. My arms went from 20 cold to like 17 and a half cold. I just checked my neck this morning, and I went from a 20-inch neck to a 17-inch neck. So it is what it is. I started off this journey at a balmy 276 fucking pounds. That's how big I had let myself get, and out of shape I had to let myself get. And I am now 237 pounds, and my goal is 225. That's a good weight for me, and then we'll see where I go from there. But anyway, so that out of the way. Went to the heart doctor yesterday, and I'm going to go for a few more tests in August just to get blood work. Well, I'm getting blood work done before then. He just wants to do another stress test on me, but I'm off all prescription meds. Not that I was on a lot anyway. I was on 2 of them. Originally, I got rid of one right away because it made me feel like I had allergies. Like I kept getting a scratch in the back of my throat and coughing a lot. So I stopped that one right away, and then I was on amlodipine. I was doing 5 milligrams a day, one pill, and then about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I started doing like one every other day, and then like 3 weeks ago, I just said, fuck it, I don't need this anymore. So I do take some over-the-counter supplements. I take magnesium. Anybody's got a high blood pressure, man. Magnesium, garlic, and nitrous oxide works great for me. So lately, even after the sauna, after an ice bath, after the gym, after working with the fucking wackos I work with, around 7 o'clock every night I take my blood pressure, and lately it's been 115/65 on average. So that's pretty fucking awesome, especially for me. I'm a pretty high-strung fucking guy. So anyway, for you newbies out there, Butta the First 15 Years. It's a book I wrote, front cover, back cover. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. E-version is on Apple, iTunes, Apple, Google, Google Books, Kindle. So it's a memoir, the first 15 years of my life in the Wingman Motorcycle Club, from my hang-around period, my prospecting period, my patch holder period, over the last 15 years that stopped 2 years ago. So up until, I guess, 2022. So anyway, I rose the ranks up to national president. I was national president of the club for 5 years, and stepped down, and wanted to be just a wingman for a while, because I was never really just a wingman. After I patched out, within a year I became president of my chapter. Within like another 8 months of that, I became a regional sergeant at arms. Then I was national sergeant at arms. I was national vice president for 4 years, and then I was national president for 5 years. And just recently, 5 years ago, I moved down to Central Jersey. And yes, we are legally now able to call ourselves Central Jersey. About 47 miles from my clubhouse. So I recently retired December 1st from the club, because I cannot give to the club what I feel I should be able to give. It's just too hard for me to get up there. I'm working 6 days a week, trying to make up for lost time now at my job, get ready to retire in a couple of years. Yada, yada, yada. So anyway, December 1st was my anniversary date in the club. I didn't want to change my anniversary date, so I retired on December 1st. Still active with, talking to brothers and all that, and doesn't mean I'm out of the loop altogether, but just not participate. I wasn't able to participate the way I wanted to, or the way I should, so I chose to step away for a while and not earn my years in the club for not doing what I should be doing. I don't believe in that. So anyway, moving straight ahead. I got a story for you. This is a story that involves disciplining a brother. And whenever I put one of these up, I always get some good comments and some bad comments. And I understand both sides of it. Trust me, I do. But my analogy of it is, once you've exhausted your means with somebody and they're not doing good things, and it's not good for your club, not good for him, not good for your chapter, not good for the nation. And sometimes you got to put hands on a brother. And there's ways to do it. And I explain this every single time. I'm not going to put my hands on a brother like I would put my hands on somebody that is my enemy. Okay? So if you have to come to this point with someone in your club, you do so in a manner of not taking it too far. When it's over, it's over. And when it's over, you don't gloat. You don't go fucking talking shit about him. You don't go fucking talking behind his back. It's between you and him, really, and you, him, and your chapter. You don't go telling other brothers outside of your chapter about it, and, you know, you let it go. Now, there's only two outcomes that can come from this. That's it. There's no other one. Number one, the most desirable outcome. The brother fixes himself. He fixes the problem, and he never does it again. Becomes a better patch holder, in turn helps your club strengthen. Or two, he doesn't. He gets ass bent over it. He's got to change his fucking tampon for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, acts like an asshole. He's going to get his fucking head punched in again, and then he's probably going to quit. Either way, the club wins, because either number one, you got a better patch holder, the patch holder you're supposed to have, or number two, you don't have that guy anymore because he was a fucking problem. So that's the best way I could see it. And that's what I do. I've employed that. When I first started doing it, I mean, it's not like I do it every fucking day, but there have been a few fucking people that need it. You know, listen, when you prospect somebody, and anybody can make believe for a while, man. You know, I got a brother Brain up in New York, and he had said to me one time, we had a brother go south on us after a really long fucking time. And the shit, you know, he did, and everything just really blew our fucking minds. And he said to me, he goes, Butta, he said, it might take 5 days, 5 years, or 25 years, but sooner or later, their true self is going to come out. And then they're gone. And that's a very truthful statement, because you can be who you want to be, or fool somebody for 6 months, a year and a half, however long it takes that person to fucking prospect, you know? And I've seen it. And this story will be damning dead proof of it. Dead proof of it. Because the guy I'm going to talk about was an absolute model fucking prospect. Model fucking prospect. And I know the guy. I worked with him. He does not work at the plant anymore. He actually took an early retirement. Whatever, that's his business. But and I was in another club with him. Before this club, I was in a club called Fierce Allegiance, and he was one of the guys that left with me, and we were never super close, you know, anything like that. And when we left, he went one way and I went to the Wingman, and he didn't last in the second club that he was in. He walked away from that though, and I told him when he was joining that other club it wasn't a good fit for him, but he didn't want to listen, and it was an easy road for him. So he chose that road instead of choosing to be a wingman at that time. But anyway, so this is what I'm getting at. This is the story. It is let's see. I don't know if I got a date on this one. Yeah, it's 2008, somewhere winter of 2008. Anyway, talking about a guy named Tiny. Now, Tiny was obviously not tiny. Okay, he was no shit 6'8", 350. He's a big motherfucker, big. Okay, so when I first met Tiny, it was probably around 99, 2000 when I started working at the Valley. I was on shift. I used to work shift in the head end building, and he was on the security force in St. Valley. So, you know, once he heard that I ride and all that, and blah, 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 I was with Fierce Allegiance at the time, and he started coming around to my fucking Oh my God. See how the fucking Alzheimer's kicks in and it just goes away? My operating room, we called them. And he would come in at night, like if I was on a night shift, and he'd come in, have dinner or whatever. And we would just shoot the shit, you know. So he kept wanting to hang out, wanting to hang out, wanting to hang out. So him and he actually asked me, he knew that I went to Myrtle Beach every year. So he asked me if he could go. And I said, listen, man, I go to Myrtle Beach every year. There was one brother from my club that would come with me, BC. And then there was about 50, 60 people that we would meet down there. And they were a hard fucking crowd, man. You know, had people coming from all over the country, a couple people from out of the country, Canada, Mexico, stuff like that. And we used to take over the Breakers North Tower for about 12, 13 years straight. And we had a big fucking bunch of people that used to meet there. All very close friends of mine. I would consider them all my family. So I said, hey, listen, man, I'm leaving at this time with my brother from my club. If you want to follow us, you can follow us. This is where we're staying. If you want to get a room there, get a room there. But just know, you are on your own. I will not save you from anything. And don't think for 1 second that you can put yourself in a situation where you're going to get your fucking teeth kicked in, because just because you're a big fucking guy, don't mean dick. So anyway, we go down there, and there were these 3 girls from Virginia who used to come down every year. Kim, Danielle, and Mary. They were good friends from Roanoke. And Danielle was beautiful. I mean, this girl was drop dead, one of the most beautiful women you'll ever meet face to face in your life. From the waist up, she was supermodel material. From the waist down, she was big. I mean, like, it was like out of proportion, like how the fuck, like you think she was like cut in half and they put 2 different bodies together. She was huge. She had a huge ass. It was like 3 foot wide. Great person, love her to death, but she was a big girl. Well, we go to the rat hole, and Tiny starts drinking, and I could see that chemical imbalance and that change going on real quick. And he got very handsy with all the girls, with strangers walking by, you know, and I had to pull him over a couple times and say, hey, man, you know, you put your hands on the wrong broad, some guy starts kicking your teeth in, you know, you're on your own, buddy, you know. So he had a thing for Danielle. He was very smitten with Danielle. And he kept fucking, you know, trying to give her some lines and, you know, this and that. And it just wasn't working. So she came up to me and she's like, hey, buddy, you know, this guy's making me feel really uncomfortable. Because like I said, he's a big, imposing guy, man. 6'8", 350. He would, you know, and he was like leaning on her and just, you know, overshadowing her all the time. He wouldn't let her fucking breathe, man, you know. So I said, all right, man, I'll talk to him. So I pull him over on the side and I'm like, hey, man, you know, calm the fuck down. She wants nothing to do with you, bro. You know, you got no shot, so just let it go, you know. Well, that pissed him off. So now we go back, we're hanging out on a picnic table, you know, out in the fucking parking lot, and fucking, he starts getting, like, belligerent with her. Like, stupid comments, rude comments. So finally, I went up to James and I said, hey, listen, man, it's my fault this motherfucker's here, you know. So back me up on this, man, because I don't know how this is going to go, but this is a big fucking boy, you know, and I ain't afraid of anybody. But 6'8", 350 is 6'8", 350. I'm 5'7". At that time, I was probably about 250, 255. So I know how to fight. I can handle myself. I ain't afraid of them, but I don't know how it's going to end, okay? I don't go into anything cocky and just say, I'm going to kick your fucking ass, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I walk up to him and I come up on the side of him and I fucking snatch him by the fucking ear. And I wrenched his fucking ear back as hard as I could and I brought him right down on his fucking knees in front of me. And he's like, ah, and I fucking leaned in. I said, shh. I said, listen to me. I says, you're making an asshole out of yourself. And I'm responsible for you because I'm the reason you're fucking here. I said, so when I let go of your fucking ear, you're going to stand up and you're going to fucking apologize to those women. And then you're going to fucking turn around. You're going to get on your bike. You're going to go back to your fucking hotel. You're going to pack your shit. And you're not going to be there anymore. I don't care where the fuck you go. You can go home. You can go to another fucking hotel. I better not fucking see you the rest of the week. And I'm like, man, I got my hand back because, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, man. James is behind me with like 2 fucking beer bottles in each hand. And so I'm like, I'm going to let you up. I says, don't be an asshole. I said, you're going to look really stupid when somebody half your fucking size kicks your ass. He's like, okay. He's nodding his head. I let him up, and I'm like, and he just looks at me. He goes, Butta, I'm really sorry, man. I really am. I'm really sorry. And then he turns to the girls, and he apologized, turned around, got on his fucking bike, and left. So that couldn't have went any better. So we go back to the hotel like about 4 in the morning, whatever, and we had this guy Stu who was always he was a manager there, and he used to take care of us. He was like what do they call him, concierge or whatever. He just took care of us. If we needed something, we called Stu. So I said to him, I said, hey man, I says, have you seen him? Tiny, and he's like, yeah, he packed his bags and he checked out. I'm like, all right, cool. So now fast forward, 2008. 2007, okay? Tiny's still working there. He ended up coming to Fierce Allegiance, and I told those guys, hey, listen, man, I'm not putting my name on him, but, I had this issue with him. And since then, I haven't had any issues with him. So he stood up, he prospected. He did a good job prospecting. Much different club than what I'm in now. And he patched out in Fierce Allegiance, and then I'll get into that whole story maybe another time, but there was a whole big to-do with our club, and we basically were kind of torn right down the middle. And I had a bunch of guys on my side, and our president had a bunch of guys on his side, and I chose to walk away from that club because I didn't want to tear it to shreds. So that's in another story. Get the book and fucking read it, and you'll see. But anyway, Tiny was one of the guys who left, okay? So Tiny went to another club. Small one chapter, not really small. They got a lot of guys, but they're a one chapter club. And I went to the Wingman. So fast forward now, even I guess 2007, 2006, whatever. Tiny leaves that club, okay, and he left them. They didn't throw him out. He left them. He knew it wasn't a good fit for him, but I think at the time, he didn't want to have to prospect hard or anything like that. And, he was having problems with his old lady and all of this shit. So he starts hanging around again. He was out in good standing with those guys. And, I knew what he was going to be doing. So I prepped my guys that, listen, he was with me in this other club. I worked with him. Only had that one issue with him. I could honestly say that was it. And it seemed like he got that situation under control when he drank, So after a couple of months of hanging out, he, asked about standing up and everything, and we stood him up. And I made it very clear to my chapter that I'm not putting my fucking name on him. Treat him as you would anybody, And I gotta say, man, he was a model fucking prospect. Model fucking prospect. Whenever we needed him somewhere, he was there. In the middle of the fucking night to either go handle some business or just pick up a brother at a bar because he was too drunk to fucking drive. He was fucking there, man. Bring me Chinese food to the clubhouse at 3 a.m. on a fucking Sunday. He was there. And he ended up patching out. And it did not take long from there for the bullshit to start. Because we don't let prospects drink. And there's a lot of clubs that do that. I fucking hate that rule. Because you want to know somebody's real attitude and how they really act in public, let them drink. Let them do drugs. Let them do what they normally fucking do. Because that's the personality you're going to get when they're doing that. If you don't let them do that, how the fuck do you know what personality they got? Makes sense. But anyway, so he was a model. When I tell you model prospect, I couldn't ask for a better fucking prospect, man. So he patches out. Didn't take long. He goes back to his ways of drinking and acting like a fucking idiot. So he was disciplined a couple of times and fined, suspended, whatever. And I think maybe once or twice he might have, somebody might have gotten into a little shouting match with him, maybe give him a little backhand or whatever. But anyway, so this was the winter of 2008. Little Billy and Jay were hang-arounds then. And Little Billy took a ride with me. I was bringing one of my bikes to our Opelika chapter in Alabama. I was spending a lot of time out there. And I wanted to keep a bike out there for the winter because, sometimes you just can't fucking ride it. I had heated gear, all that. But sometimes, you're getting too much snow, too much fucking rain. So I figured, let me keep a bike out there. So if I got a fucking cage out there or fly out there, I got my own bike to fucking ride instead of a brother's, bike. So we went out there, dropped off the bike. I hung out for the weekend. It's Sunday. We're fucking heading back. I'm like, it's like, I don't know, 2,000 hours. We're like a couple hours away from home. And I had this broad in my stable back then. Her name was Farah. She was a barmaid at a strip club around a corner from our old clubhouse when we were in South Hackensack. And she was a good chick, man. She was good. She would never initiate contact with me. If I wanted to see her, I would call her. If we went to the fucking strip club and I went there with 5 brothers or 50 brothers, we drank for free. She took care of us, So she was a good broad. And I get a text message from her, man. It's 911. And I'm like, fuck, So I call her up. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She goes, listen, man. She goes, I don't mean to talk, or complain on one of your brothers, but Tiny's here. He's super fucking drunk. He's scaring the fuck out of everybody because he's like pawing all over me, telling me that you told him he could sleep with me tonight. So I said, hey, man, you're free white and over 21. You can do whatever you want. She goes, well, what do you want me to do? Because I really don't want to. I said, well, then don't. I says, but I didn't tell him anything. I didn't, I said, put him on the phone. So he gets on the phone. He's fucking hammered, man. He's slurring his fucking words. So I'm like, hey, listen, man. And you know what sucks, guys, is that a brother put me in a situation where I actually have to believe someone else because I know she wasn't lying to me. I know she's not making it up. He's there. He's at the bar, obviously, because he got on the fucking phone. Obviously, he couldn't fucking, he was very inebriated. And I know the guy. I know how he acts around women when he gets fucking hammered. So I actually had to believe this fucking broad over my brother, and that pissed me off, So I'm like, hey, man, do me a favor. Go home. I'll be there in a couple hours, man. We'll talk. Okay. So hangs up the fucking phone. Now I'm fuming, So me and little Billy go over there. I tell little Billy to stay in the fucking car. And I go and I bang on his fucking door, and he comes out, and he's still fucking pretty wobbly. And this is where he fucked up. And this is why I put hands on him. He lied to me. He tried to deny the whole thing. He was so fucking drunk that he tried to say he wasn't even there, and he has no idea why she's lying about this. So I'm like, dude, I spoke to you on her phone. You were there. And he turned white as a ghost. And I was like, all right, listen, man, you got to defend yourself now. It's like, oh, but, and I put the boots to him right there on his front fucking lawn, man. His wife was looking out the window. And again, didn't take it far. I knew I had him beat. Let him feel that defeat. I told him, I said, we'll talk about this on Friday at church. Got in my fucking car and I left, So, let my chapter president know at the time what happened. And, it just sucks that it's got to come to that. But that's just the way the guy was. So, we had a long talk with him. Our LEC had a long talk with him. And, hopefully he was going to change, and blah, blah, blah. And then not even a couple of weeks later, we had an open house. And Johnny Crash from our New York chapter, who's nobody that you want on your shit list, or you don't want to be on his shit list, comes down with his old lady, and Tiny starts acting like Tiny. And Johnny had to bring him in the back room and smack him around. So, and then to make matters even worse, a couple of weeks after that, I'm out of town. I was in Georgia, I think. I think I was in Dawson County. Jay was a prospect. Jay and Billy had stood up, okay? Now, we don't shit on our prospects. Never understood that, okay? Never understood that. We are hard on our prospects. Our prospects work for what they get. Trust me. They work hard for what they get. We will never make a prospect do something that we have not done ourselves or will not do side by side with them. I don't care what anybody else thinks about it, but that's my prospective brother. That's someone that I am going to one day hopefully rely on to kill or die for me or go to jail for me and leave his family for me. Okay? Why the fuck would I want to treat him like an asshole? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Never did, never will. And my chapter is behind that 100%. Our chapter is very against people shitting on fucking prospects. Now, Tiny had a thing for prospects, man. He just they were like a bad odor to him. I could never figure it out, but he was just one of those guys that had to parade around when there was a fucking prospect around. And it used to drive us fucking crazy, but you know what? He's a brother. He's allowed to fucking do it. Nothing saying he can't do it, just we don't normally do that. So anyway, I was Jay's sponsor, and a couple of times Jay had come to me and said, "Hey man, this guy's like riding me." I say, "Hey man, you do the right. You do what you think is right." That's what I would tell a prospect all the time. You do what you think is right. But I would also tell a prospect when they stood up, listen, you're a fucking man. And if anybody ever challenges your manhood or your honor and you don't do the right thing, you're probably going to get fucking lumped up because you always stand up for yourself, you know. And I'm not talking about, so go get me a fucking beer, wash my fucking bike, that shit. I'm talking about ridicule. I'm talking about straight up fucking abuse, okay? Something the guy probably wouldn't say to the guy if that guy wasn't a prospect. That's when you stand up for yourself, okay? So that night, apparently, Jay had had enough. Jay fucking called him outside, and Jay put the boots to him. Put the boots to him, from what I heard, okay? Broken up, it was over, okay? It was over. Well, like 3 or 4 days later, we get a letter from fucking Tiny. He dropped off a box with all his stuff in it to a brother that wasn't going to give him any issues or anything, and he quit. So, moral of the story, we got rid of a guy who wasn't the right material for us because I threw him around, a couple other guys threw him around, and he got the hint, this isn't going to stop because he can't change. Obviously, he's not going to change. He's a fucking 40-something-year-old man at the time. He wasn't going to fucking change, and he knew it. And he was getting tired of getting fucking beat up. So he fucking quit. Win for the club, win for Bergen County, win for fucking me. Because he was really getting on my fucking nerves. But now if he would have turned around and said, man, I don't want to lose this fucking club. This club's fucking awesome and it's what I need in my life. And he would have fucking changed his ways and become a fucking good patch holder. That's a win also. So don't be afraid to put your hands on somebody and do what you got to do to discipline a brother when all else fucking fails. Like I said, we went through the process with this fucking guy multiple fucking times. You know, we were pretty fucking merciful with him. And we fucking let it go a lot of times. And then it started to just be, all right, this is how he is, man. It ain't going to fucking change, you know? And again, I bring it back to prospecting, man. If we would have let that motherfucker drink a couple of times prospecting, because honestly, with Fierce Allegiance, he didn't really drink. He'd have a few beers. That was it. You know, at one time in Myrtle Beach, but that was years before. And I did not see an incident since then. So you got to let them fucking be them, man. You know what I mean? Or, you know, we got some brothers that will forcefully make a fucking motherfucker get drunk. So they see it, you know, towards the ending stages of it and everything. But, you know, it's all, I guess it's all, I don't know. It's all how you look at it. But I don't think, I get it. You don't want him to be a fucking alcoholic all the time either. But, and if the guy drinks every day or every night, whatever, you don't want that either. Because if a brother calls him at fucking 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, so I need a ride from a bar, or, hey man, I'm at this bar and 5 fucking bad guys just walked in, get down here. You know, you don't want him to be fucking hammered going to pick a brother up or having to go fucking fight for a brother. So, you know, I get that part too, but I think that they should be mud checked. You know, I like to mud check a prospect to see if he could fight or is willing to fight. I have my own process of doing that, and I'll talk about that another time. But I think getting them fucking drunk or high or whatever it is that they like to do that you know they're going to do if they patch out, you should definitely take them down that road while they're fucking prospecting or hanging around. You know, you should definitely take them down that fucking road because you'll see more of their true self. You know, they say a lot of truth comes out of you when you're drunk. A lot of truth comes out of you in humor. So sometimes when somebody's joking with you, they're fucking motherfucking you and you just don't realize it. So anyway, that's the story for tonight. And sorry I've been, you know, distant on here. I'm going to try and get everything back together. I'm still unpacking some stuff that I got in this room, and I'm going to get all my pictures hung and everything. This is going to be my office again. I had this as an office, and my wife asked me to move everything downstairs, and then she asked me to move everything back upstairs because we're doing the whole. She's got 4 grandkids, and the oldest one just turned 7, and she got 2 twins that are 2, and another one that's 5. So, you know, when they come over, man, they need the basement. And I tried to tell her that in the beginning, but, you know, sometimes it ain't worth arguing over. So, just moved my stuff back up here. I got some unpacking to do and stuff. I got to get my my microphone and all that, and my audio stuff hooked up. But I said it in the last video. I got a new computer. It's not that bad, I don't think. And that's it, folks. That's all I got. I don't even want to talk about what's going on in the country because, like I said, my blood pressure's good right now, but we're fucked. So I hope you're prepared. Anyway, love yous. God bless you. God bless America. God bless our troops. And God bless Donald Trump. I'll be doing this again soon, folks. Thank you for your support. Again, reach out. If you already bought the book and read it, please give me a fucking review on Amazon. Even if you bought it somewhere else, give me a review on Amazon. I need them. And read the reviews. They're actually all fucking good. So it's a good read. Love yous. Bye.